Hi, everybody. Welcome to my channel. I'm so happy that you found your way here. I'm Karleen, and I'll be your host on this. And to all of you that are just waking up over in the States, good morning. Happy Sunday. I hope this turns into a beautiful podcasty kind of connection for you. Of course, you can comment in the chat if you're a subscriber. So before you can comment, please subscribe to the channel. And I won't be turning on donations. If you feel like donating, go right ahead. You know where my website is. It's in the description box below this video. And or my booking page, I'll post that in here. I will post that in here. So 1 second, let me go grab that. But otherwise, today I'll be talking, of course, on the week ahead. We'll be going through Aries through to Pisces. That's the plan. And but we'll also be talking because I was inspired. I was inspired by a conversation that I had with a friend, and it was a kind of a very interesting, deep, rich conversation, which there was a lot in there. And so one of the things was like, what holds us back, especially as women, and all the further denominations of that, from living the life of our dreams? What truly holds us back from that? Since we're all living in this world of stories, why is it so hard for us to tell ourselves a story that really works for us and that, helps us live the life of our dreams? So we'll be diving a little bit into that. So, of course, I'm here for you for personal sessions and for personal deep dives into what's really going on, for you and how to, there we go. I just posted it, my booking page, and I'll push that all the way to the top a little bit in time. But feel free to connect with me or email me also in the description box below this video with any questions that you may have around the process on that page, if that's a little complicated for you or what have you. Okay, so let's dive into this topic of why can't we live the life of our dreams? What's holding us back from living the life of our dreams? And we all have dreams. We all think that, there's something that we came into this world to live for. I don't know if you are like this, but when I was younger, I always had the feeling that there was something just around the corner. If I could get to just that corner in my life and then turn it, I was going to find something magnificent and special and just something really fantastic. And there was always this like little spark of a feeling that was pulling me forward, pulling me forward, pulling me forward. And then in time, I kind of lost it due to life experiences, due to disillusionments, loss of hope, you name it. And then I had to work to get it back. And I realized that working to get it back was a lot. It was a lot of realigning, and on all four levels. So mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. So what else is there, though, that really blocks us from living our dreams? Another thing that I've found with people is one of the biggest things that I've found that blocks people is the courage, really the courage. And courage is something that it can't be bought, it can't be taught, it can't be gifted, it can't be given, it can't be transferred, it can't be transmitted. It arises in you in that moment of do or die. And so the only way to get it to come up in you is to literally have the courage to put yourself in a position where this is going to come up out of you. And for whatever reason, I've got this daredevilry in me, and it's really, it always pushes it. Maybe it's the rebel, and it kind of always pushes me to the brink of what can I do? What can I make happen? What can, for me, my life, right? What can I, how can I expand? How can I take the next step? And sometimes it goes really, really well. But of course, there are some times where things didn't quite work out exactly as planned. And so, but that is something that I've come to find in all my workings and dealings and teachings and sessions over the last going on now. I've been doing this since 2012 full time. And over that time, dealing with people, is that it can't be taught. And people will go from seminar to seminar to seminar to seminar to, in effect, they're remembering what they know already. but in effect, it's to build up the courage, to gain the confidence, because they feel the more knowledge I have, the more I know about each and every situation that could arise and how to counter that, the more I learn from others, the more prepared I am to go out there and make things happen for myself. But then when it actually comes down to it, these tend to be the type of people that take a step back rather than a step forward. And it's funny because the people that don't stack up on all that just wing it, they just throw themselves in the breeze to see if they can fly, they often end up flying. They often do. So how can we gain that courage? I did a video on courage because it's one of the topics I need to talk more about. We talk a lot about faith, we talk a lot about belief, and these are deep, basic, archetypal energies that have kind of fallen off the wagon in modern life because they're kind of taken for granted. But when you stop and think about it, we talk about our beliefs, right? And our belief system as if it's something kind of abstract and something we can control and we can, mess around with it. So I had this belief today, so I took it out and threw it out, and then I implemented that belief, and then that changed my entire life, right? But what is a belief? What is it really all the way deep down there? And how do we shift our concepts of ourself and our own self-image so that we allow the stronger version of us to emerge? How do we go about that? How do we have faith in ourselves? Another word, faith, that carries so much, that we will survive a situation that we throw ourselves into, whether it be a new relationship, opening up your own business, traveling halfway around the world, connecting with people, trying something out, quitting your job, doing whatever. How can we do that in the right way at the right time without overthinking things? And then, especially when things don't work out, how do we take the best out of that and continue to move on? How do we get up and move on? And I feel like that's what a lot of people, where it kind of gets stuck with them, that they really have kind of, it's difficult because they feel that they're trapped in certain areas of their lives. They're trapped in certain situations. They're trapped in certain constellations, even, whether it be family or, like I said, business, work, you name it, where they say, okay, I can't really step out and live the life I want to lead. But then there's the question, what is the life that you want to lead? Because a lot of time the grass is greener on the other side. So, and I've found that in my life, when I got to that grass that was greener for me, a year before, 6 months before, and I'd manifested that new thing, I was like, I could hear the crickets chirping and thinking, okay, that was fun. What's next? So how do we, really define what is it that we're looking for and what is it that we want? And there are four main things that people tend to trip themselves up on. And so we're going to go through them. But before I do that, how are you guys doing? All right, type in the chat. Hello, good morning. Hi, Elena. I'm so glad you guys are here. I think over time, a little bit more people are going to come on. I haven't been, you guys know I can only do this, that have been with me for a while, when I get the urge, the calling, the feeling, the energy, the flow, the vibe to do these kind of lives. Otherwise, it just kind of sticks. So, okay, let's start off with the four things. So the main thing that people get tripped up on, that I found, when it comes to creating the life that they deserve, that they feel is, number one is self-worth. Oh, that's such a huge one. And we can build it up in our minds all we want, and we can really stand in front of the mirror and feel comfortable in our body and in our lives. But all the way deep down there is some kind of layer of ourselves that is still going, ugh. But what you have to say, nobody wants to hear. What you have to show, nobody wants to see. Your art is only art to you and your mom. Your fashion or your clothes that you create, nobody gets it. Only you'll get it. Nobody cares. There's so many out there. You're acting. There are already so many actors. Why add one more? And so all these voices start coming up inside of ourselves. And that's number one of self-worth, that, finding but that goes a little bit into number two, which would be finding the value in what you do, right? But it also is, of course, the voices that we grew up with, the voices that we live with on a consistent basis. So our community, the tribe that's around us. So again, the courage, right, comes up to break from the tribe, to break from those thoughts, to break from that perspective of life, that idea of life, and to try something new. And again, this can't be taught. The courage to heal, if you've been traumatized, gone through trauma as a child, if you've had that kind of upbringing where nothing you did was ever right, where everything was criticized about you or mocked or laughed at or denigrated, invalidated, your feelings, your experience, your emotions, your perspective, your view, yeah, it's going to be difficult for you to allow yourself to say that I have a valid view, I have a valid perspective, I have a valid way of, things to share with the world, and it's valid for me to want to do that. And if you're growing up also in this environment where everything you did wasn't valued, where people didn't know how to respond properly to you to help you develop a sense of self-value, then of course you're going to be thinking that everybody else out there has something amazing to offer, and but what I have to offer is just not good enough. Like, who would care about that? Who would care about my art? Who would care about my music, my songs? Who would care about my fashion? Who would care about my cooking? Who would care about whatever it is that you're bringing to the table? And so the thing is, of course, we can look at other people, and then you have to be careful not to slide into the comparison trap, right? And you can look at those people that are already doing what you're doing, but nobody is exactly you. So you can't really fully compare what they're doing to what you would be doing, because they don't have the story or the history that you have. So they won't be infusing it with a consciousness that you're infusing your work with, as they are, right? Because that's what we're actually transmitting is energy. It's all about energy. It's about power, and it's about energy. So, but whatever you have in your life, whatever you experience, whatever you've gone through, it becomes a part of your message. It becomes a part of your gift to others. It becomes a part of your medicine to others. Even if you don't feel like you're actively speaking about it, talking about it, putting it out there, it's there in the vibrational field that people pick up on. And so you have a medicine, you absolutely do. I found what helps is to slowly over time build up your faith in yourself. And it's how should I put this? Over time, make yourself little promises and then keep them. And funnily enough, that will actually strengthen your self-confidence, because you start to have faith in yourself. You start to believe yourself when you say something. And when you say something, I'm going to do this, then you actually do it. So it helps to start off small with, I'm going to take 10 steps from here to the kitchen. Literally, that's where you start off with your mind games with yourself. I'm going to take 10 steps from here to the kitchen, and you take those 10 steps. I'm going to go for a 10-minute walk every day. You go for a 10-minute walk every day. Whatever you do, you fulfill that, but you start off with something that you can actually obtain. You always start small. Don't like dive off the deep end with this. But over time, you're building up trust in yourself. You're building up confidence in yourself. You're building up faith in yourself. And all of a sudden, you start to really believe, yeah, I can do this. So then it goes into definition, right? That's another place where people trip themselves up with, what is it that I actually want? What do I want to accomplish? What do I want to achieve? And that ties in with number 4, with the return on investment for what you're doing, which is, what is it for me? But we're going to take that separately. But the definition of, what is my actual dream? Because a lot of times people, when I talk to people and we're deep diving into that, it's there are 4 or well, maybe 5 main motivations. And one of them would definitely be vengeance and revenge. That is way deep down there. For whatever, even if it's a childhood slight that's still sitting there and festering away, right? That is propelling people forward. A sense of a lack of powerlessness, so the desire and the need for empowerment. Of course, safety, security, and stability is one. Connections is another, to be able to connect to people or find that love, find that connection with someone, and validation, right? So these are the main I found in doing this intentional motivational drivers behind what people find attractive as a kind of a what they would want to move towards or what they would want to accomplish and achieve. So you'll have to be ruthlessly honest with yourself and figure out what your main motivator is. And it's not always going to be pretty, but who said it needed to be, right? Who said it needed to be? Because a lot of the times the darker parts of ourselves or the darker feelings and emotions, they're the ones that do a lot of the transformation alchemical work in our souls. And they're so underestimated, right? So we need to start acknowledging these aspects of ourselves and then realizing what the messages that they have to give us about us and how we see ourselves, perceive ourselves, how we, how we're standing right now, and then utilize that to catapult us forward, not to project on the outside, but to transmute. So, for example, let's say that the grass is always greener on the other side, right? So you have your house, you have your car, you have your hubby, everything's fine. And then a new neighbor moves in, right? And they have a bigger house and a bigger car, and their hubby makes more money. And all of a sudden, there's creeping jealousy, frustration, a limited feeling of my life is too small starts creeping in. I wonder if I made the right choice. All of a sudden, fast forward a couple months and you're questioning everything about your life just because every morning you look out the window and you see this woman happily bobbing down in her designer heels to the car, going to wherever she goes and living this, in your mind, fantastic life. And so when I meet you at that time in your life and I ask you what would be your ideal life, you're going to tell me, what your ego in that moment is seeing as what the life that she's living, right? And so it's important to work with these energies of envy, of jealousy, and welcome them in. They all have a seat at God's table. They're all a part of our lives. And have a look at what that is actually asking you to do, which is usually to grow, which is usually to develop, which is usually to turn on your truth and live in your authenticity. And so once we've worked through that layer of what's actually there in that moment for you to work with, and we get to the bottom of things and we start realizing that what you would actually desire if you were free from all of that is something completely different. Now, what if you didn't meet me and you just acted on that impulse, right? And you acted on that impulse of what you thought you wanted, and then you get to another place. Now you've divorced your hubby, you've moved into this downtown apartment, you're working this flashy high-end job, and your life is still empty, right? So this is why it's important to look at the definition of your goal coming from your soul space. Like, what is it that I really want to achieve? What is it that I really want to accomplish? How do I want to feel when I'm done with this? What is the feeling that I want to experience? These are all things that we can have a look at, that we can deep dive into. What part of me is saying what to me? What part of me is telling me that I need to go do this? Okay. So the third place where people trip themselves up when it comes to what's stopping you from living your dream life and how they hold themselves back is the feeling of a lack of security or safety in the outcome, and a lack of resources, be it network, connections, money, you name it, right? Possibilities, you name it. And so they do a whole bunch of manifesting webinars and then nothing really comes together. And then they just keep on doing their own thing, but they kind of still hang in that cloud of frustration and anxiety, and things aren't working out for me, and this is not what I want. My life is never going to be the way that I want. So of course, again, here it comes up to having the courage to heal certain parts and aspects of yourself, to really dive in there and acknowledge that, oh wow, this is an aspect of myself having that needs healing, or having the courage to acknowledge the darker sides of yourself so that you can master the darker side of yourself and utilize it in the right scenarios and in the right situation. Because everything is good or bad depending on how you use it, right? So sugar is great. It's good, right? Sugar is sweet. A lot of girls have been raised on that. But obviously not so much when we do overdo it. So it's the same thing with your own traits, even your dark traits, like your poison can become a medicine as well, utilizing it in the right space at the right time. But for that, you'll have to acknowledge that you have poison within you. You'll have to acknowledge the darker sides of your being and what those are, and learn to harness and utilize them. And then through that, you have a better understanding of who you are and what would actually be good for you, what would actually benefit you, irrespective of everything going on outside of you. So the world of marketing, the people that you see that you measure yourself against, like all of that. And you have a better chance at finding your soul pathway. You have a better chance at finding your way forward in your life, accepting your life for what it is. And you'd have to be willing to disconnect yourself from the story that is being told out there in the world about what life is and what is valuable in life and what we're meant to achieve in life and what we're meant here to accomplish in life. You'd have to be willing to discover your own pathway, to live the adventure of your own life, and to figure out, you know, through doing and by living and making the mistakes and getting back up again, what it is that you really feel that you're connected to in this lifetime. Okay, so we went through self-worth, we went through definition, we're at resources, money, and network. And this is where, like I said, a lot of people hang themselves up and they feel like, I don't have the money to do something. I don't have the resources to do something. I don't have the network that is supporting me. I don't have the support that I would need in order to do this, this, and this. I've got kids. I've got family that I have to take care of. I can't just pack up and go to Bora Bora, even if I wanted to, because I have elderly parents that depend and rely on me. And these are all realities of life, and we have to acknowledge those, right? So we have to acknowledge those, and we can go deeper into the esoterics of it and come to the recognition that our life doesn't belong to us, right? That we're an aspect of consciousness that is the interface interacting between the world that we see and seem to experience and our deep inner selves, right? But that life that we're living belongs to our deep inner self. And then we come into acceptance and we come into surrender, and we leave the guidance to our higher self or a deeper inner self, and so on and so forth, to accept certain situations. But I've seen people shift things on a dime that were really caught and trapped in a certain lifestyle. And once they accepted it and said, okay, this is the life that I came here to live. This is what was written for me. This is what I'm meant to do. This is the best thing for me and for my soul growth at this moment. So I accept that completely and totally and absolutely. And I just let go, even if other people are judging me. And believe me, for some reason, like you astrologers know, I've got Pluto right on the cusp between my 7th and my 8th house. So in some charts, it's in the 8th, and in other charts, it's in the 7th. And I don't know, but when it's bouncing around in the 7, it can attract some really judgmental, harsh people, right? So I had to learn to really, especially because I'm very sensitive, I'm an empath, so I would feel it. And I would realize that it's not always a judgment of me, it's a frustration with themselves and their own limitations and their own perspectives. But it took me a while to get there, to realize that. And you do feel it. And especially if you then have other programs running, like the good girl programming, you immediately fall into people pleasing and you start deferring and doing all that. And it doesn't serve. So you really have to have the courage to go in and to look at that. Now, back to the actual topic, resources, money, network, right? For some reason, it always showed up for me. So I've manifested things, I've believe, and I have the faith and the belief that this world doesn't belong to the entities that seem to run this world, but to God, to higher. So if I'm meant to be somewhere, there's going to be a way that I'm going to get there, and I don't have to worry about it. And so, but to teach that level of faith or that depth of faith, it's hard, right? People have to really throw themselves into it, have to throw themselves into that life, have to throw themselves into to really grasp it, to really be able to walk out on the ledge. And so the only remedy I have for that is to really just do it. It's like the Nike slogan, just do it. And I know you're expecting like a recipe book, but there is no recipe book to life, not especially not to your life. You know, you really have to take a deep breath in, pull up your panties, big girl panties, as a friend of mine used to tell me, pull up your big girl panties, Karleen, and just go do it. And a lot of people, it's hard for them to hear that because they're like, what do you mean, just go do it? And there's an instant resistance in there. And they go through, again, all these courses, all these workshops, all these lectures. And at the end of the day, that's exactly what they're hearing from others is just go do it. And so then you see if people integrate that knowledge and they just go do it or they don't, right? But ultimately it's up to you. And when it comes to resources, money, network, I can absolutely guarantee you that the universe makes it available to you the minute you open yourself up for it to come to you. And you open it yourself up for it to come to you when you put yourself in that position where it is needed. And then you're going to say to me, and I know because it's not just you, it was my own mind all those years ago too, but I can't even pay this bill that's in front of me. How is the universe going to make that happen for me? And why does the universe make that thing happen for me, but it doesn't make this simple thing happen for me over here? And all I can say is three things on that. Number one is that our life is not ours, right? It's not the ego minds, it's the soul's life. So whatever we're experiencing in that life, we're meant to experience for the soul growth, for the soul evolution, even if it's painful, even if it's crushing, even if it's debilitating, humiliating, all these things, right? The second thing is that spirit has a plan, and sometimes in my experience, it may not be your experience, and I don't want to define spirit for the entire world and planet. I can't do that. But in my experience, sometimes it just doesn't sweat the small stuff. And the small stuff gets sorted sometimes, you know, later on down the line, or it's something that I could take care of by myself. I figured out a solution by myself, and then it all worked again, right? And sometimes it's not about you. That's the third point, is it's not about you, but there's someone in your vicinity. There's someone around you who's learning through your experience or watching you go through what you go through. And so a lot of times we're thinking too small a little bit, where we're only thinking about our own pleasure, our own goodness, our own good experience, but we're not thinking that our life itself and how we solve the challenges that come up, serve as an inspiration or as a guide to other people. And then, of course, there's the being in the mindset of the culture that is around you. And I found that I tend to protect myself now and to bubble myself in whatever communities, cultures, so on and so forth, I bounced through. And what was a weakness for me when I was a child, feeling isolated, feeling like I didn't belong, feeling like I could never connect, people clucking over me and wagging their finger and saying, oh, child, you have no roots, and stuff like that. I've turned it into a strength where at any given time, I can be thinking something completely different from the people around me, and I can maintain that now. They don't drag me down. They don't pull me down. They don't affect me. It's like I'm my own, as I'm the oil that doesn't mix in the water. And, but when I want to, I can. When I want to, I can. I can let those shields and those guards down, and then I can mix and mingle and do all that and feel absolutely connected. But now I've realized that the benefit of that, of having learned all those years not to belong. And for some people, oh, Karleen, that's so sad. No, I don't think it's sad at all. I don't think it's sad at all. And I enjoy it now. I completely enjoy it. And because I know the truth that I do belong. I belong to something bigger. I belong to something. I belong to humanity. I belong to the people that love me. I belong in certain groups and all of that. That's perfectly fine. So I've healed that sense of belonging. That's all good. But what I've also taken with me is this strength of being able to say, okay, I'm not going to mix with that. right? I'm not going to mingle with that. The mental strength of being able to not let myself be influenced by something that's coming from the outside. So when it comes to finding the right connection, sometimes it has to do with endurance, enduring until the universe is able to deliver. And usually the delivery comes through other people. The universe is not going to put opportunities like, let's say you want to buy a red couch and you have this idea in your mind. And that idea came as an inspiration, red couch, I need a red couch here. And it's probably going to show up because at your place of work, somebody's selling a red couch or giving it away, or you go down the street and there's a garage sale and somebody has a red couch that they're willing to, or you open up a catalog or you drive by a store or what have you, but it's going to come through other people. The universe works through other people. You're not going to walk into the forest and there's a finished couch lying for you manifested on the forest floor. That's just not going to happen. So, there's this need to heal how you feel connecting with other people, how you, what you expect. And it's okay. We've gone through a whole period now where we had to learn to turn off expectations, but now it's important to learn to turn on healthy expectations again. Healthy expectations of the relationships around you, of the kind of people that you associate with, the kind of people that you connect with, the cliques and circles that you go through, right? It's important to have that. So when you have this sense of self-confidence in who you are and what you have to offer, and you've developed that because you've worked with a self-worth issues of point number one, you've defined your goal based on what your soul is actually calling you to do and not what your momentary ego desire is. So you're letting go of the sugar candy, right? And you're going for the long goal of the sweet potato. And you're going for the deeper goal within yourself. And by the way, this is the only goal that will bring you fulfillment. Everything else is like McDonald's. You're going to be hungry again after 3 minutes, So, and now you've let go of the responsibility in the sense that this is something I have to take care of by myself. There is something bigger above me. There is something that is guiding my life. There is something whose life, who is holding my life in its hands. I can place my life in its hands because it's not really my life. I'm here as a interface or a consciousness connection, but it's actually my soul's life. And so I can relax in how things are going to come to me. I can relax in how things are going to manifest for me. And I'm just going to take care that I'm going to stay in the highest frequency possible. I'm going to deal with people that are positive, uplifting, outgoing, expressive, curious, that live from their heart. I'm going to do that. That's my job. That's what I'm going to take care of. Then the universe is able to bring things and opportunities and possibilities to you through the hands, the eyes, the love, the hearts of other people, because literally that's the only place you're going to get it from. Sorry. Like, as much as we love our pets and our animals and they do a lot for us, that red couch, that purpose in life, that all of that, it's going to come through other people. So, and now you've dealt with all of that, and all of that demands courage. It demands courage to have faith. It demands courage to persevere. It demands courage to do the healing work on the levels that are holding you up. And it demands courage to accept your negativities, your shadow side, your darker aspects, and through that, turn them into valuable tools, turn them into things that you can utilize to bring you forward. The fourth thing where I found people trip up, and this is one of the bigger ones, this is like a big rock in the middle of the road, is the question, what's in it for me? What do I get out of it? And only doing things and making decisions with the intention to receive something on investment, seeing everything as being transactional. And that will definitely, if you want to live a spirit-guided life, trip you up. Because just like spirit works through other people for you, spirit works through you for other people. And sometimes what, like I said before, what you experience is not going to make sense. All of a sudden, you're just going to be in the right time, in the right place, and you're just going to be yourself because, you know, this is an organized universe. You're just going to be being yourself. And it's only months later, weeks later, you realize you had a conversation with someone where you saved their lives. You literally saved their lives just by being who you are, just talking to them, just connecting with them, and just giving them an idea or a seed or something to think on or ponder on that they needed in that moment. So we can't control everything in our lives. That's up to higher. And to learn to let go, to learn to surrender to that is probably one of the more important things in developing a life that you, and when I speak to you, I mean the authentic core you that resides, that feeling part of you that is within you, not necessarily the ego you, right? So giving up the idea, what's in it for me, right? Having the discipline to, because that is based in a scarcity mindset. It's based in a mindset of lack. It's based in a mindset of unhealedness. It's based in a mindset of, I need to take care of me. Otherwise, nobody's going to take care of me. This world is out to get me. This life is out to get me. Other people are out to get me. Everybody is against me. Everything is against me. I'm a victim. And once we can release that and acknowledge that, yeah, the universe works through me. The universe utilizes, has given me these gifts, these talents, these abilities, utilizes them to pour others a tall glass of water, right? Because nothing comforts another human being more than a human hand. It's a human hand. There's nothing that beats a human hand, a warm, human hand where you can feel the heartbeat in the palm and that in on your shoulder, in the middle of your back. As I'm speaking this and you're imagining this, you're already feeling it. So the universe works through that, through other people, including you. So sometimes, yeah, you're going to be out there. You're going to be, let's say you're a reader, you know, you're going to be giving readings where people don't pay. They just, you know, and then they complain. But you gave them something to ponder on, to think on, right? It's going to happen. You've got to be clear with that. You can't make your decisions based on what's in it for me. It's not going to work out for you. You will block yourself from being your true self, from being your authentic self, from just living your life truthfully based on the impulses that are coming from within, the direction that is being given to you through to live your life from higher, from God, because God doesn't work based on money, and He doesn't work based on you know, what you're going to get paid. I know there are a lot of people out there that thank God for their Bentleys and their fashion clothes and their handbags and say God wanted me to live this life, but no. I don't know about that. I don't want to say no because everything has a purpose and a reason, right? Everything, including that. But people that don't make that don't live that lifestyle, they have a purpose too. And if you so happen to be one of them, you can't think less of yourself or your connection to spirit, to life, or what you're doing or your work because it's not turning out for you like that. So you have to release those kinds of expectations when you're in work for or to spirit of it showing up that your success or the validation that you're secretly seeking. Remember those 5 motivations that I spoke about in the beginning, that it's going to show up in this specific way. And if it doesn't, then you weren't successful. That's so not true. That's absolutely not the truth. So you'll have to get into that kind of a mindset. And all of this takes courage because you're going to feel it. You're going to hear it. You're going to see it coming from the world around you, you know, and questioning you, doubting you, triggering you, doing all of that. And you're going to have the courage, have to have the courage to stand up and say no. Now, what do you do when you absolutely believe all this and you know all this, but you're in a situation that you just can't get out of quickly, such as you're raising teenage kids, you're raising little kids, you have family, you have responsibilities. And you're thinking, oh, if I could just make my decisions differently, I would have set this all up differently. And now I would be living in an island, and, you know, I would be living in Maui or something. And I invite you to really take a step back and to have a look at what we define as a good life and where that comes from. Where was it taught to you that you have more value, or your life has more value, when you're living a life on Maui, going to the beach every day and eventually getting bored and getting island fever and wanting to get off the island again, but whatever, that's, you know, something. But who taught you that that had more value? And let's say you're thinking, oh, because there I could, in the life I'm thinking, it would be a life of ease, and I can rest and I can sleep all day, and I'm not being pulled here and I'm not being pulled there, and I'm not having to do this and do that. And so, okay, so what you're really wanting to experience is a lightening of your load. You don't want to be pulled in 50 million directions at once. So the first question would be, why does this life seem like a better life for you? And then, because that's why, and then you'll find what you truly want to experience going down that questioning ladder, and then figure out how to implement that in your life. So let's say that you're taking care of your parents. Is there a possibility that you can get some kind of support or help? What is stopping you from getting that support or help? Is it finances or resources? Then you can start taking a look at that, right? Is it pride and shame because you feel like my parents raised me, so now I'm obligated to take care of them, and I can't leave it up to other people. I have to do that to fulfill this idea, that concept that I'm carrying around in my head, that if I do that, I'm not showing them the love or the respect that I feel for them. But that's, then you can write that down and you can define, oh, I have this limiting concept of what love looks like and how I need to express that. And all of a sudden you're taking care of it and you're bringing more freedom and ease into your life. But if you're hooked on an image that was sold to you, then you're never going to fix that, and you're always going to be frustrated. So it really, but you have to have the courage again, you know, the courage to take a risk and bring up the willpower to actually do it, to actually make it happen. It's kind of, you know, going to the gym, talking to the trainer says, do 20 sets of this, 20 sets of that. And you're still pondering, well, what's it worth if I do 20 sets of this and 20 sets of that? Or you start talking back to the trainer. I watched another trainer and he told them to do something completely different. Well, then don't. But are you going to have any results? No, right? So you have to take one step. And the thing about the universe is that if you take one step towards the universe takes 10 towards you. You take, and you can see this, for example, when you're pregnant, or when you just bought a pink dress. You just bought a pink dress, or you just bought a colorful dress, and you walk out and all of a sudden, all you're seeing all around you is women wearing colorful dresses. So it's the same with everything that you do. You will find affirmations for every step that you take, whether it's going in this direction, which is expanding you and allowing you to live a life that you want to live, you know, truly, or if it's limiting you and you living a life that is all about limitation. Whatever choice you're making, that's what you're going to see reflected back to you. So it's hard though, and I totally get it, because I still, of course, I cry to my friends, you know, and it's sometimes, even though you know all this and you know where your resistances are and you know what you need to do and you know what is happening on all different levels, and still there's this aspect of you that just says, I just need a good cry, I just need to vent, I just need to let this all out. That's fantastic. Don't judge yourself, but don't get stuck there. That's the only thing, is do not get stuck there. And start identifying with that experience. Realize that this is all an experience and you're just traveling through, and this is the scenery that you're seeing, and it's very sad at this moment, and that's the truth of it, and that's the truth of your experience, but it is an experience, and soon you're going to be moving into a different one, right? So this is where vision boarding helps, visualizing helps, affirmations, meditations, keeping yourself on track, having other conversations as well, forcing yourself sometimes to have other conversations, uplifting conversations. And that can help when you're, for example, helping others, you know? So it's totally up to you how you work with these energies. But in living the life that you desire, you truly desire, like on a deep, deep level desire, it's really and this is the hidden one on the flip side. So we have the 4 on the front, but the hidden one on the flip side is you really have to disconnect from current culture, not from the love that you feel for your loved ones or the love that you have for other people around you, but this pervasive late stage capitalist culture where everything has a price tag and everything is transactional and a commodity. You really have to disconnect from that. And it's absolutely possible to live a life of joy and happiness and expansion and fulfillment and never even leave your own village. A lot of people do that. And there are philosophers who have lived that kind of life, you know, and have written fantastic works, and they're still quoted today, like Immanuel Kant, and he never left his hometown. So it literally it boils down to the images that you hold on to in your own mind, the definitions that you give to certain aspects of your existence, and being willing to change that, not being addicted to pain, addicted to suffering, addicted to trauma, but really being willing to have a sit down and look at these 4 things, these 4 beliefs, and saying, okay, what do I feel about my self-worth and my value and what I have to offer? And if you don't know what that is, you can absolutely, let's say you're a musician, you know, and you make music. And actually, that's a bad example because most musicians know the value of what they offer. So let's say you're an artist. Let's take that better one. And let's say you're an artist, you do your paintings and you think, oh, who wants to see these paintings? They're just average. And have a look, right? Have a look at other artists' paintings, not to compare your work, not to compare your work. Don't do it to compare your work because you will never win that way. Not to compare your work, but to feel what you feel, right? To feel through their work and their art what you feel, to write down what was I inspired to think? What was I inspired to do in my art based on what I was picking up from theirs? And then realizing that they're not only transmitting art, they're transmitting energy. Energy. And this world is all about power and energy. And so you realize that it doesn't matter. I can be looking at Salvador Dali and feel completely fragmented and discombobulated, but that is still valuable, right? And then I go look at Frida Kahlo and I feel like this flow, and that is valuable. So when your voice or your art comes into that, that is valuable too, and you start realizing that. You can also ask what your friends, how do you feel in my energy field? And what are you feeling right now? What are you inspired to do through our conversation? You can ask to see your impact, your energetic impact on other people. When it comes to definition, there's radical authenticity and radical honesty is what I want, because I feel like I would finally get the validation I don't think I had. I would be able to get vengeance on someone, my ex, my parents, my past, a childhood comment that's still rotating in my brain. Like, what's my motivation for this? Is this something that I truly want, that would truly fulfill me or not? The resources, money, network. Am I willing to have faith? Am I willing to surrender? Am I willing to surrender to something higher within me that is in control of that is going to bring me what I need to get me to where I need to go? Am I going to willing to surrender to something I don't understand? I can only hope for the best in a sense. And I know that sounds whack. And this is exactly what our entire cultures and our societies have been built up against to protect us from these inconsistencies, these uncertainties of life. But exactly that has turned into a jail for a lot of us, right? So am I willing to throw myself out there in the wind? Am I willing to sail around the Pacific by myself? And try. There's a guy that's doing that right now. He's on TikTok. He's in this little dinghy of a boat. Like, I don't even, oh my gosh. And he's sailing around the world by himself. And thanks to Elon Musk's satellites, he's able to load up TikToks. And he's in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, which is interesting. And so the stuff he sees, though, the things he sees and he captures on camera, is incredible. But the faith this man must have is also incredible. So there's that, having faith that whatever you're needing, whatever you require to fulfill the goal of your soul is going to be brought to you. Because when you're in alignment with your soul and your soul is in alignment with the universe and it's doing what it's supposed to be doing, the universe is going to allow the flow of resources, everything that a person needs to accomplish whatever they need to accomplish to them. There's no other way. There literally is no other way, because you're doing your thing. You're in your position, you're in your place. And that position was intended, that place was intended. So there are supplier lines to maintain that position. Then the fourth one is what's in it for me, right? So if you're not willing to be a vessel for the universe to be poured through to touch and affect others, then the universe has no use for you, at which point you will also be sidelined. So if you're not willing to be a pen in the hand of a writer, then the writer is going to put down that pen and pick up a pen that writes. So those four things, have a look at them and see which one applies to you and where you're stopping yourself. You're standing in your own way of living the life that you desire, that you really want to live, where you feel like I could expand, I could grow, I could finally evolve through living like this. I don't know where my life is going to end. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know. I have no idea. And a lot of decisions that I made when I was younger were reactionary decisions, like anybody else, trying to control the flow of my life, trying to control the events that were happening to me, and trying to fulfill everyone's expectations of me and what my life should look like, what a good life looks like, you know? And we all know what that feels like. We all have people in our lives or know people around us that have these set expectations. And when we were little, probably if you're here on my channel, guaranteed that you've had that experience, and you're trying to live up to all these expectations, and then you realize, you know, no, just no, just no. And realizing that doesn't make you any less worth. Realizing either way from those kind of people, you're not going to get the validation anyways. It doesn't matter what you do. Realizing that your validation has to come from a way deeper place if it's validation that you're looking for. Realizing that vengeance is a cry for something else as well, or whatever your inner motivation may be. Realizing all these things and realizing that your life is not limited to or defined by the outer world, the illusionary world that we live in, the expectations, marketing expectations, other people's expectations of you or anything like that. It's not defined by that. It's absolutely you being a tool in the hands of the universe, and all of a sudden you'll find yourself in the right place at the right time, speaking with the right people, doing the right things, everything seamlessly connecting without you doing a thing to it. And that can be exhausting too, especially if your mind is still trapped in the control cycle and wanting to control outcomes and things. Okay, let me check the chat here, and I hope I didn't bore you guys, but love this chat. Thank you. Thank you, Cooking Protein with Christine. So nice to see you. Yay. So that's my word for Sunday. If you guys have any questions and you feel like I didn't cover a question of yours that you had around your life and what's stopping you from living your life, please post it in the comment section and I'll try to get to it when I see it. And it could possibly be something that helps somebody else. Speaking of being in the right place at the right time, being a tool in the hands of the universe to help somebody else. It could be a question that somebody else needs to hear answered as well. So don't hesitate. Okay, so otherwise I will now continue on and we're going to have a look at the week ahead, which would be, of course, today, the 4th of August, until the end of this week, which is the 10th of August. And this is week number 32 already. And let's have a look at the energies that are coming up. Let's see here. The energies coming up for the week ahead. But the biggest thing, like I said, just to close this off, is to realize that a lot of, back, remember 2018, 2019 world when the laptop lifestyle was being sold and marketed as this is the life. Oh, I'm at the beach and I'm working from my laptop and it's so amazing. And I did that lifestyle. You guys know I did. Would I go back to it? No. I realized it wasn't for me. It's for other people. It's fantastic. It works for others. But for me personally, in my soul pathway and my what I'm meant to do in this world and in this life, but I tried it out. I tried it out. What more can you do but try it out? And but I also had to have the courage to say this is not working anymore for me. I had to have the courage to say this is not what I like, because to a certain extent it become a part of a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit of the image that I was doing. I built up connections there, friends, circles of people, all of that, right? I built up my life there in a sense. So to tear all that down again and to start all over again, it's a lot, not gonna lie, but to me it's worth it. And the universe literally put everything in place for me. So it's life, I don't think was I don't know if this is a limiting mindset or an actual observation, but I haven't met one person, whether uber wealthy, absolute super wealthy, never having to work in their lives, their kids don't have to work in their lives, none of that, from meeting those kind of people to meeting normal people living normal lives, what we understand as normal, right? Because what is normal? um Everybody feels like they're at a disadvantage in life, every single person I know. So I don't know if life was meant to be easy. um I I I think that's a concept that we've developed over time that was also part of a previous marketing drive, probably selling countries and places to live or something like that, I don't know. But we have a pretty short life on this planet. We do. We have a really short life on this planet. And I firmly believe, it's as my guides told me a long, long time ago, we come in here to do some hard butt kicking work and then we bounce. It's literally, this is the operation room of the universe. And yeah. So anyhow, hi Maggie. Anyhow, that those 4 points, like I said, write them down. Self-worth, definition, resources, and what's in it for me. And yeah, see how that comes up. Okay, so the week ahead, I think that's it. Is that it, Spirit? That's it? Spirit? That's it? That's all? That's all? Yes, and letting go from the marketing stereotypes of what a good life looks like or what it entails. And what you're supposed to have at a certain age or accomplish or be, that your life is over at a certain age. That's, all these things, right? So all of that has to leave your mind. It completely has to leave your mind. Week ahead. Week ahead from the 4th to the 10th of August, 2024. Happy summer. I hope you guys are having an amazing summer. I hope this is a relaxed period for you somewhat. I hope you're doing fantastic and you're soaking in the energies, the sun, everything, wherever you are. Week ahead. What's coming up, please, Spirit? Oh, okay. There's a struggle here. There's a struggle in releasing and letting go of the past fully. And the energy is very clear in the atmosphere. It feels as in this tug of rope war that push pulling into the future, possibly into a new mindset that we're calling in, that we're desiring, that we're wanting to experience, but we don't want to drop the load to be able to make the jump. And it's like we're holding on to these weights or these heavy bags, and we're standing at a precipice, and we're supposed to jump from one side to the next. And there's nothing connecting the two, nothing connecting the two. And people are like, I can't jump with these bags, but I don't want to put these bags down. There's a feeling of, if I made it, if it was truly meant to be, then I would be able to jump with these bags. So, okay. Okay, somebody holding themselves back from making a huge growth step this month. But we're only looking at the week. So something coming up this week, which is going to demand people make a jump, take a leap, leave the past behind, disconnect, drop it, just let it go. And them probably overthinking things, overanalyzing things, trying to figure out, how do I hold on to this stuff? Because even if it's garbage, it's my garbage and it's mine. There's that energy. Why do I say that? The 4 of Pentacles is showing up. The 7 of Pentacles to reflect on what went wrong, what can we do differently. The Hermit, seeking, looking, peering over into something else, and just feeling like this is I want to experience something different, but I don't want to let go of what I have. This to me energetically is the strongest energy that's showing up, is I don't want to let go. So if this is you, have a look, because whatever it is, it's not, whoops, no, it's not it's not growing the way that you'd hoped it would. Okay. So let's see here. So I feel like when we look at the collective, right, there's still going to be a sense of not frustration, but kind of agitation in the air. There's an energy of wanting to move into the future, but not being able to release the past, wanting to make the changes and live something completely differently, but still holding on to the past, thinking, oh, finally clicked. We have to give up the idea that because we didn't fulfill the concepts and ideas, desires, and dreams that we had in the past, that we somehow failed. And because that keeps us going back to the past, trying to make it, trying to do things, trying to fulfill that, trying to find closure, trying to bring that dream to an end. Meanwhile, we only had the dream as a carrot on the stick to get us into a specific position, which is where we are now. And that's where we're supposed to be. It's not about fulfilling the dream. It's not about fulfilling that concept or idea that we had in the past. And so this goes also for collectives, collective dreams or ideas when we're looking at politics, democracy, ideas around organized governments, or how we have to let go of the past and in order to claim the future. And we're unwilling to do that. We're absolutely unwilling to do that because it makes us feel as if we failed, as if something failed that we invested a lot into and that we should have accomplished. This is like the person dying to be, I don't know, a race car driver when they're 13 and living for that dream, investing in that dream, but then going for something else, doing something else out of necessity, becoming super proficient at that, and not realizing that that's where their actual gift lies. That's where they're meant to be. So it feels like something is coming up this week on a collective and on a personal level where we're going to be able to see how people are still doing that, how collectives are still doing that, holding on to some kind of a past idea, concept, wish, dream, that its time has run its course. It's come to an end, and we need to just let it go freely, effortlessly, without just dropping the toy, dropping that plaything, and being willing to open up and dive into the experience of something completely different and else. Yeah. Let me check the chat here and see how you guys are doing. Hi, Olivia. Let's see, what else is coming up this week? What else is coming up this week, please? Again, if you'd like your personal readings, my link is in the description box at the top. So what else is coming up this week? We've got the Page of Swords, which is interesting. We've got the Queen of Pentacles. And we've got the Eight of Cups. Wow. This immediately, I felt something on so many different levels, from Mother Earth and moving away from things that, gaining more information, more talk about Mother Earth and her cycles and things changing, through energy systems, monetary systems, of course, through who represents the Queen of Pentacles on the world stage right now. Somebody type it in the chat. Somebody type it in the chat. Who represents that? But it really feels as if there's something going to come up this week around her, some kind of message, information, you name it, that is, she's going to turn something down. She's going to walk away from some kind of an opportunity, which was actually, and I'm speaking of Kamala, which is actually a something came to her in wolf's clothing. Okay, came to her in wolf's clothing, Page of Swords. And she's looking at it, contemplating this offer, and then taking a hike, saying no to it, walking away from it. Okay, so something's going to happen there. Okay, and what else is coming up this week, please? What else is coming up this week? What else is coming up this week? This week's energy, 4th to 10th of August. There's an escalation of something. Something is escalating. Knight of Swords energy. Has to do with money, of course, resources, coins, and people celebrating that. someone, something celebrating that. But something is escalating somewhere on the world stage. And it's to possibly something happening that assists some group or country that stands or feels isolated. Yeah. Okay, I'll leave it at that. We'll see what happens. All right, you guys don't forget to like, comment, share. And I'm moving now through Aries through to Pisces. So sun, moon, or rising. And let's see what's coming up. Let's see what's coming up for Aries, please. And we're going to do it quick because these are 12 signs and I can go off. But let's see what's coming up. Aries, what's coming up for Aries in this week ahead? What is the message that you need to hear? Aries, there's an opportunity coming up for you and it's up to you to take it. This is the Page of Coins, opportunity, but also someone sees you as a budding star because the next thing is the star that is coming up. So there's some kind of a hope or a wish fulfilled this week for you, but you're going to have to invest a little bit of time, a little bit of energy, possibly a little bit of money in it to make it come about and happen. There's also something about you opening up to learning, recognizing your situation and learning from that, but also starting something new and having the hope that it is going to work out for you. It's a great week. I feel like things are going to take off. Things are really going to unfold for you, a new opportunity coming your way, which is going to turn into something longer term. Okay, Taurus, the week ahead for you. Taurus, please. What's the week ahead? Whoa. Taurus, the week ahead for Taurus. We've got the 10 of Swords, something coming to an end, and you may be grieving over this ending. It's important for you to take yourself through your grief. Now, this may be smaller stages of grief, like, I don't know, summer camp or something, and you're missing the kitties, but it also may be something bigger and deeper and much, much more serious. So don't underestimate grief and grieving and how that affects you mentally, emotionally, and how that affects how you see yourself, your life, your opportunities, what you say yes to, what you open yourself up to. So it's important for you to grieve. It's important for you to allow yourself that process, allow yourself the stages of releasing that which no longer works for you. And you also have the Tower. Yeah, something is, wow, okay. So oof, what a week. The energy is very sudden. It's very sudden. It's like a thunderstorm, suddenly there, breaks open, leaves just as suddenly. I do feel you're going to get through this and you're going to obviously be better for it at the end, but this week it could be a week of arguments, explosions, sudden things coming out of nowhere, surprising you, sudden endings, sudden things coming to a close. Okay. Right. Just a snapshot of a week. It's not going to last longer. Gemini, what's coming up for Geminis, please, in this week ahead? Geminis, we've got the 7 of Wands, standing up for yourself, fighting against all others, standing up for your beliefs, your faith in yourself, having to define yourself as well against others. Definition, something with definition, defining yourself. 10 of Cups. Okay, fighting for what you believe is worthy, fighting for your emotional balance and equilibrium as well this week. So it's important to draw your boundaries this week, Gemini. I feel like it's a week where you're going to have to set your boundaries. You're going to have to let people know until this far and no further. But it's also about energetic boundaries, not letting them get inside your head, not letting them get to you, not letting them get to what you're thinking or feeling, but really putting up those boundaries and leaving people's opinions of you, ideas, concepts of you outside. This also feels as if you're fighting for something to succeed. It could be that you're fighting for someone that you're really connected to and that you want to see succeed, a relationship. You're fighting for something to happen, for something to succeed, right? You're standing up for someone or something. But it does feel like at the end of the week, things are going to go well for you. At the end of the week, you've got this rainbow and the 10 of Cups. It's beautiful. So a much more relaxed week ending. But during the week, you're going to be standing up for yourself in some capacity and having to make yourself heard, make your voice heard, speak your truth, articulate. Okay. Moving on to Cancer. Cancer and your week ahead. What's coming up for Cancer, please? Cancer and the week ahead. Cancer, we've got the Six of Coins, something returning to you. This is prayers answered. This is fairness, justice, my smaller karma card. So there's something that I felt immediately when I saw this card, something being returned to you. This, of course, can be money. It can be a compliment, though, as well. It can be flowers, can be good energy, good vibes. But I feel like people are liking your energy this week. They're wanting to be in your vicinity. They're wanting to connect with you in some way, shape, or form, and that you have a lot to offer and give by way of your wisdom, your words, your ideas, your concepts. You're constantly sprinkling goodness to others, Cancer. And this week, they're here for it. You've also got opportunities coming your way, though, that you may have to double check, look at twice. There's some kind of a deception going on. This may connect with a person, an offer, something coming to you from someone else. I do feel that distinctly, where it's not quite what it seems. Check and make sure before you invest money, before you say yes, before you really commit to something specific. The world is open to you. That's what I'm feeling this week as well. Choices are yours. And find out what really makes you fall out of balance, which choice makes you feel unbalanced, not energized, and then go with the one that makes you feel strong. Okay. So, yeah. Good morning, Eve. Oh, I'm so sorry to read that, Livia, that you're the explosion at the gas station. Wow. Ooh. Hey, Leo, what's coming up for Leo? Leo and this week ahead. Leo, it feels like you're done. Okay. There's something where you're just like, I'm ending this cycle, I'm closing it out. If it's not ending, I'm ending it. I'm done. And I feel this like tap, but it's to a point where you're not even feeling it anymore. It's so over, it's so done, whatever the situation is, you're not even feeling it anymore. And but I don't feel you carrying this load anymore. Maybe someone made you feel guilty for something that wasn't your fault, put the responsibility, the shame, the blame on you, and you're putting it down. You're letting it go. You're not carrying this. You're realizing that it belongs to someone else. You're realizing that it's not yours to carry. You're realizing that it, it, it- yeah, you're just putting it down and you're ending this. There's something that is being ended this week. There's something that you're ending. This is the death card. But again, you're looking forward to the next day. You're looking forward to the transformation. You know that this is an uncomfortable time right now, but you know also that you're going to get through and you're actually looking forward to it. But yeah, something is definitely ending here, but you're ready to move on and walk on. And whatever, it's almost as if something that you held holy, something that was sacred ground for you before, you've now seen it and for what it really is, and you're letting that go. You're letting that go. That's your snapshot of this week. We're done. You may be dealing with fire signs or Scorpio, okay? Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, or something Scorpio. And you're just really, you're done. But you carried a torch for this person. You really carried a torch for this person, but this torch burned you alive. That's what I'm feeling. It burned you up, like no more skin on the bone. But it's time for you to allow this transformation to happen. It's time for you to put this down. This also may be a worry. It's time to end your worries. Um, not worry so much anymore. I know that's easier said than done, but it's feeling like these worries are due to concepts and ideas and expectations of yourself and your life that you're carrying from others. Okay. All right, moving onward to Virgo. Virgo, what's coming up for you this week? What's coming up for Virgo, please? Virgo. Virgo, you've got the sun. Wow, beautiful accomplishments, achievements. Yes, goals reached, energy returning to you. It feels like if workouts, what is this about workouts? Somebody heading to the gym, somebody doing a lot of workouts, somebody feeling better in their body, somebody investing into themselves. Okay, that's what I'm picking up energetically. And it feels good. It feels right. It feels like this is a good thing to do. Walking away from unhealthy habits, walking towards health. That's literally what I'm seeing happen here. And look at that. Here he's wearing his red cloak and it's all heavy. And here this child is just letting it fly free. Acknowledging your desires, but not letting your desires run you. Developing discipline. Okay. So this is a week, Virgo, where if you make the right decisions and choices, this is going to be something that will carry you through the year. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. Um, Focus on your own health, your own energy field. Focus on nourishing that flame inside of you, and anything that dampens that, move away from it. Anything that doesn't allow you to shine, move away from it. Yeah, you're not even touching those cups anymore. You're not even looking to see what's in them. You're not even taste testing them. You're not even playing the game. What if you're just saying, you know what? No, I'm moving towards me, what's right for me, what will grow me, what will strengthen me, what will get me to live to live the life that I desire and deserve. This is beautiful energy. This can also be quite literal, that those of you Virgos that are watching are somewhere hot. Okay, that's another thing. Hot, wanting to get out of the heat, quite literally. There may be some kind of, yeah, there may be some kind of other heat that you're trying to get out of too. Okay, so that's another thing. Somebody holding a torch for you. Could be a Leo. Right, moving on to Libra. Libra, wish fulfillment. The Nine of Cups fell out. So this is your wish fulfillment card. All your wishes coming true, and and what's coming up next? Libra, week ahead. Yeah. Happy home. Something's balanced out for you, Libra, and you've come to some kind of a balance when it comes around home, when it comes around it's almost like you're celebrating and you're being celebrated as well. You're feeling really more in harmony and more in balance this week. Wishes fulfilled, everything that you wanted manifested, but also your self-confidence returns. I see a lot of yellow here, solar plexus, self-confidence, but also the mental body. So how you think about yourself, how you feel about yourself, the body that you reside in, it's all a better feeling for you this week. You may be enjoying the summer weather as well, getting out a lot, working out a lot, but it feels like a good week. A proposal for some of you, there's a proposal of marriage, proposal of living together, moving in together. There's a proposal that comes up and it just fulfills you. It makes your heart sing. Yeah. Yeah. Fulfilling your wishes, also making others happy because others are celebrating with you. So this is some kind of a community thing for you this week. It's beautiful. Enjoy it. Someone is very happy to be connected to you. Someone is ecstatic being connected to you, is really proud of you and loves just being around you. Yeah. Okay. Scorpio, what's coming up for you this week? Scorpio, what's your message? Scorpio, okay, you've got a little bit of a trickier week here. You feel trapped. You're one of those that want to break free. And you've got the Eight of Swords and the Five of Swords here. So there may be some stuffery going on at your place of work where it's just political to all get out. Feeling like you can't see the forest for the trees, feeling overwhelmed, feeling outgunned. That's literally what I want to say is that I feel outgunned with this card combination. I don't know what to do next. I don't know what my next step is going to be. I feel outmaneuvered. Okay. Outmaneuvered. Somebody outmaneuvered you, Scorpio. Oof. There's that intention of vengeance, right? There it is. There it is coming up. The intention of vengeance, being obsessed with vengeance. Something might be going on at your place of work. I feel like this is more detached, like a place of work, less family stuff, but feeling a sense of, I need vengeance. Somebody sidelining you a little bit, putting you in your place or their idea of your place, you not being able to directly confront or go up against. And so plotting and biding your time. Okay. I hope this week passes quickly for you. That's one day too many of being in this angry energy. But I do feel it's, yeah. The Eight of Swords is saying that you don't need to be there. You can walk away and out of this situation at any time. You don't need to be there. You can walk away and out of this situation at any time. So if you were feeling like I need to switch my place of work or studies or what have you, it might be a good idea to look deeper into that. Okay, so let's see, continue on with Sagittarius. Saggies, and your week ahead, what's coming up for you? We've got the Four of Coins, holding on to things, trying to keep things together, penny pinching, budgeting. Yeah, I feel that's the energy that I'm feeling around Sag this week, having to turn certain things down financially, for greater goals, greater visions, greater ideals. Saying no to certain things in order to get the bigger prize. But it's not hurting you that much. It's not affecting you that much. You see it for what it is. Yeah. Holding on to old ideas too and old dreams, the Four of Coins, and trying to dream a new dream, the Seven of Cups, but you can't really decide what the new dream is going to be. There may have been a separation in the past, the recent past, and now needing to reorient or look towards a different future than you had planned. But not feeling too bad about this. Okay. Capricorn, what's coming up for Cappies, please? Capricorn. And we've got the Lovers. Ooh, Capricorn. It's, the beginning of August, and you're feeling the heat. You're feeling the hotness. New opportunities, quickies, Page of Coins. No, not that much investment into things, but maximum joy and fun. You may be on holidays, you may be traveling somewhere, you may be having a summer fling or a summer flirt, but it's definitely a fun time. Some of you may be enjoying your time with your kids. Page of Pentacles could be. But otherwise, something new is blossoming this week for you, Capricorn. Okay, great opportunity. New person. This will be someone who's dark-haired, dark-eyed, and just feeling really swept away, feeling the love of it, feeling the joy of it. But it's a beautiful energy with a lot of potential for the future. Okay, so we'll see you again next week and see where it goes from there. But it's beautiful. Someone that you're deeply interested in as well for the first time in a long time. Feeling harmonized within yourself, feeling like you're in a good place, feeling like opportunities are opening up to you now. Aquarius, what's coming up for you? Aquarius. Card that fell out is the Wheel of Fortune, Aquarius. So big changes this week, shifts, changes, and discipline or strength, desire, harnessing your inner self. I feel like this is a week where you have to be careful not to blow yourself up. Okay, literally, that's what I'm feeling with these two major arcana. On the one hand, you have lust and strength, which represents desires, so deep desires within, deep desires that ask you to do certain things, that pull you in a certain direction. But you're going to have the discipline, which is this lady in white, the purity of her intentions, harnessing her lower nature or her reactive nature. You're going to have that to master the changes that are coming into your life this week. I feel like don't react. That's what I want to say. Don't react. Do not react, Aquarius. Some kind of trigger is coming, and it may be a deeper, I won't say test, I don't like that word, but it may be just, strengthening what's already been resolved in you. So that may be a trigger. It may be a trigger. Do not react. Whatever that comes up this week, do not react. Not from a place of reactivity. Come from a place of response. Come from a place of thinking things through, giving yourself the time to breathe and think things through, but don't react. Okay? Yeah, there's a big thing coming this week, and it's okay to take your time to breathe it out. Okay? And last but not least, Pisces. Pisces, what's coming up for you this week? What's your weekly message? What's your weekly message for Pisces, please? The weekly message for Pisces. Oh, this is your card. We've got the Queen of Cups and a storm brewing, the Knight of Swords, but also quick changes, fast changes, things happening quickly. A lot of energy exertion, putting things into motion, putting things into flow. Could be that you're feeling attacked. Could be that something is coming towards you that you need to handle, that you need to shield yourself from, protect yourself from, take care of. Harsh words, harsh exchanges, quick resolving battles, verbal spars, back and forths. But it's almost like you're checking out of this. You're looking into your cup and you're just like letting this go by you. You're not really too invested. But somebody who's really also angry at you. I don't know what this is, but there's somebody who's super angry at you, Pisces. And they feel justified in this anger because they're all dressed up in their suit of armor and they're trying to challenge you to some kind of a duel or argument or something like that. And you're just not having it. You're not having it. But there's some kind of an energy that I feel is coming for you. So please protect yourself energetically, put that salt in your pockets, that kind of thing. But if nothing's coming for you, which is also, then it's the speed of time, the speed of the experience, doing things quickly, throwing yourself into the thick of things, getting things done. Yeah, moving things forward quickly. Okay. Otherwise, someone who is interested in you, who wants to catch your heart by storm, and they're probably investing a little bit too much energy than what you're comfortable with. You don't know how to match their energy. You don't know how to meet them in the middle kind of thing. And so you might be taken aback a little bit because there's a rushing kind of energy that I feel here blowing you over. So, and that's okay too. You want to live a life where you're actually living you and not adapting to someone else's needs, but something swiftly coming in, swiftly coming in. Okay. All righty. So that was Aries through to Pisces for the week ahead. Thank you for your likes. Thank you for your comments. I hope you shared this. I hope you enjoyed the chat that we had in the beginning about what blocks you and what to do about it for living your authentically, truly blocks you from living your dream life and how you can go about taking it apart, all these blocks, and journaling helps, writing down those 4 points and then working through them and working through the sub points and working through all that. And it's quicker and easier than you'd think once you get the hang of it. And watch your dream life start manifesting much, much easier when you focus on those images in your being. Any questions in the chat? Do you guys have any questions? Good morning, CCG. Hi, Siobhan. Oh, that's awesome. You're moving to the beach. That's awesome. I loved living on the beach. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Except for a few minor points. But otherwise, yeah. Yeah. Yay. So yeah, if there are any videos that you would like, I posted that on the community page. But if there are any videos that you would like to see me do, any topics that you would like to see me cover, let me know. Yeah. Your last video, you talked about this world being about power, not love. Yep. Is there a card for co-parenting with my ex? Is it safe for my child? Okay, let's have a look. What need I need guidance for challenges ahead. What should I focus on? Okay, which one? Okay. It feels as if there's some kind of cycle that you're closing off, Maggie, with your mother. There's a maternal cycle that you're closing off. Whether it be the energy, the information that you received from her, the whatever it is, it feels like you're carrying something multi-generational, and that this is coming to an end. It's coming to a close. And when it comes to a close, don't hold on to it. Try to accept the new goodness that is coming into your life. We have here the Nine of Wands. So you're a long time warrior, a long time standing in your strength and your truth, not really having experienced the Ace of Cups, which is balance and harmony and inner love and self-love, because we have you here as the Queen of Pentacles working on that, working on that. And you're going to achieve the shift, the change, the alchemy, the transmutation. And so I do feel that what's coming up for you, just allow it to continue to unfold. Allow it to continue to unfold, because deep down, what's being transmuted is this feminine, maternal energy that is in need of healing, in need of reattunement, in need of, yeah, that. Okay. So keep doing what you're doing, keep moving forward, keep healing, keep focusing on changing. And things are going to come to a natural close. That means also that other things will probably close out for you as well, though. Other things that are connected to that old energy and not to the new. Okay. So don't be afraid of that. Don't be worried or concerned about that when that starts to happen, Maggie. Just let it go. Okay, because if you hold on to the old energy, then you'll remain in the old energy. Oh, is there a card for co-parenting with my ex? Is it safe for my child? There's a sense of loss that I'm picking up in your question. Or afraid of losing a connection or possibly a child. Here we have the Knight of Wands. Okay. someone who needs, I feel like this would be your child, and it needs to experience, it needs adventure, it needs to get out there. It might be a little bit sheltered. Here we have the Two of Cups, and here we have the Hanged Man. So contemplating if this a new situation is a good one for your child, but also underneath there's the secretly fear that I'm going to lose the love of this child, or I'm going to lose the connection that we have, or somebody else is going to have a connection to my child too, and just as deep and just as personal as mine, and I don't really want that. So have a look if that's anywhere in that. And but overall, yes, it's right now it's safe for your child. Oh, Siobhan, thank you. Good morning, Anna. Anne, sorry. Eve Lexi, the question I have is whether the situation with my love interest will ever move out of the talking phase. We've been in the talking phase for a while. Yes, there's a, wow. Okay. Okay. Yeah, the first card was really positive. It was the Six of Wands, and then it went downhill really fast. So I think yes, I feel yes, that things can come out of the talking stage. Then you have the Five of Cups, and you have the Seven of Swords, and as the outcome, the Seven of Wands. So I think continue to take it slow and really get to know this person, you. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say here. Just really allow this to develop as its own pace, and let's see what happens from there. But yes, it can come out of the talking phase, but you don't want it coming out too early. Okay. Alrighty. Jess Sully, I'm leaving my job. Should I stay in the same field or do something else? I'm a big fan of the something else. Jess, stay in the same field, do something else. So same field card is Two of Swords. You're going to get more of the same. Nothing is going to move forward, but something else is going to challenge you and bring out your demons. This is what's going to make you grow. This is what's going to make you grow. This is what, because after this card, what happens is the Tower, right? So all your false concepts fall down. And then you have the star and this the sun and the moon and the sun. Yeah, star, moon, sun. And so you go through that developmental arc. But when you run into the devil, don't be afraid, because you have to encounter this to see where you are chained, to see where you're tied up, to see where you hold yourself back. Okay. So yeah, something else, I feel. The devil also represents material success. So that, don't be afraid of it when it pops out of the deck, because the devil rules this world. So it represents everything that the devil can give you in this world. So yeah, so it could be that you make more money, but it could also be that you're more tied up, that you're more tied into something, that they're going to demand a lot from you. Kind of like the energy that I'm picking up for some reason is like working for Google, where everybody's super happy they were hired by Google, but at the same time, they just wrote their life away. That's kind of what I'm picking up. Okay. So well paid, everything's fine, but yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's what I was feeling, Eve, with the Seven of Swords. It felt like sneaky, but I didn't want to say something, that I wasn't too, but it felt sneaky. It felt sneaking around behind the scenes, and it was just not, no, no. I wanted you to find out that there might be something else. Okay, so that's that. And as to the power and this world about being about power, not love, I think I'll do a deeper dive on that, because it's not something that I can want to summarize really quickly. I could, but I don't want to, because I really want people to come along with me step by step. So I think I'll do something deeper on that. And but it is about energy and power and love, especially the way we are taught love, this sacrificial love. Love exists. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. But the sacrificial love, the way we're taught, it's for the masses. It's for the masses. The ruling elites, they do not, you know, they do not engage with that. So, but I think I'll do that a little differently, and I'll have to think about how I set it up without going off about, you know, exactly what I just did, elites and blah, 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 but make it really round. But yes, this world is about power. It's about power, power over yourself, over your demons. And through that, you can have power over the world around you. And through harnessing how you react and how you respond to a situation, you guide to how that situation develops and how it develops for you. And you can influence others as well through your responses or / reactions. And through that, of course, influence the development of the situation, so on and so forth. It's everything is about power. Marriages are about power. You want to align yourself with someone powerful so they can protect you in the world. You want to, men want to align themselves with powerful families through their wives and have more opportunities to gain more power, you know. You don't want someone who's going to make you powerless, do you? Do you really? No. So yeah, there's a lot. But when you start seeing it and observing it, the power games that we play on a day-to-day basis with one another, making each other feel like I came out of, or wanting to feel like I came out on top of this situation or this conversation, you realize it's about power. That's what everything is really about. And we tell ourselves so many stories about what it should be or could be, but what really is, we tend to not really focus on that. So start looking at your day-to-day life and seeing the power games that you play from morning till evening and even at night with other entities, and things start looking a little different. But I'll dive deeper into that sometime else. Okay, you guys, I'm all spoken out. My mouth is fuzzy. I have no more water in my can, I don't think. Tea. I found this mango tea that I'm super, super, super excited about. Super fan of. So yummy. And yeah, and I hope to see you soon. And thank you guys for coming out for this live for me. Yes, I will. I always say that. You guys know that. I can only do this when I'm feeling the flow. I wish I could have a regular schedule and say, this is the day that I'm coming on. This is what's happening. But then sometimes I hear crickets chirping when I do it like that, or I get really frustrated. I get really edgy and anxious and just, so I just like doing it when I'm going with the flow, when I feel like, yeah, there's something to be shared here. And that's when I can do it. So I think I'm going to try, but I won't promise anything next week again. So it's a once a week thing. But otherwise, in between, you know where to find me. And if you have any requests, any video requests, please leave it in the comment section or shoot me an email, or you'll find somewhere to write it. And I'll definitely try to look into that. Okay. Otherwise, I'm wishing you an amazing start to your week. Beautiful, wonderful successes this week. May God bless your path. Every step that you take, remove all obstacles, and may angels carry you wherever you fear to tread, carry you through. Take care. Adios. Bye. Tschüss. Auf Wiedersehen. Have a good one.